you're not seeing me. You're not seeing me. He says, like, yo, to battle me, like, yo, man, like, you gotta have, like, you know, like, you gotta have a G, blah, blah, like, you know, like, man, I got soldiers that will take you out. And that's the way that he would basically, like, talk to me. He would always talk about his soldiers. His soldiers, and I'm just like this, like, and I was getting, like, irritated, and I was just saying like listen, I'm coming from a past with me going through 26 people, win or lose. That's a real leader of the culture. You know, like you know, like, I began to speak with my heart. I said, yo, that's a real leader of the culture. Win or lose, I would still win because of the fact of, yo, I went through that 26 people. I didn't push a soldier in front of me to take my place. I allowed the soldiers to basically stand back so they could be inspired.
Watch the warlord at work.
Right, like, right. So like, my man, basically started saying like, you know what, you're gonna need a G to battle me. You're gonna need like a G to battle me, and this and that. Right. So basically, what happened behind the scenes was, like, the reason why a lot of people turned out to that party is because they knew that I was going to be there and Bingi was going to be there. The word was already put out on the streets. The word was good. Right. People were calling my phone. People were saying, yo, man, you really going to be there? You really going to be there? And people wanted to see that battle. The bouncers that was up in that place, the bouncers were already paid off to allow me on stage. That's how I got on stage. I didn't just, like, push my way past stage. I paid the bouncers off in advance to get me on stage, and I just, like, I basically stood there, stated my claim. I had my G on me, ready for him to battle. He said more money. My boy Abdul had 700. He said more money. My boy Alicio had money on him as well. And that is the backstory to what happened. Later we would like when that battle never happened.
Yeah, like, it did not go down that night.
Yeah, when that battle.
But y'all would end up catching up with each other years down the line in the barbershop.
Yeah, when that battle never happened, you know, like, I left, and what a lot of people don't know is that.
So now, you would later battle Bingi. How did that happen in that barbershop?
Later, like
years passed.
Yo, like, years to follow, man. Once again, I'm with my boy, like, Fabian. You know, like, and some people just like, yo, like, it's like some people joke, but they didn't really understand the friggin' beef and intensity that was going on between us at the time. You know, like, right? So it's like, you say the slightest thing to me at the time, or you say the slightest thing to him, and it triggers something in us, right? So I'm with like, my boy, like, Fabian, and it's like, you know what, right? Like, music is playing. I'm at in the backyard at his mother-in-law's house, and you know, like, and I'm just like dancing, and he's just like, it's like, yo, man, you think that you could beat Bingi? And I'm just like, it's like, yo, man, stop, stop, yo, just chill, you know, stop. And he keeps on saying it. So then I just go back into the whole story, and it brings up that night again, and like, and I'm just like, it's like I'm becoming like irritated. Then he says, you know, last time that I checked with Bingi told me that, you know, like, that you're not a dancer, you're a hip hop dancer. And that pissed me off, because I was just like, yo, if I'm a hip hop dancer, why is he taking my moves? You know, like, I'm just like this, yo, man, people are so ignorant. I do the butt hop. It's hip hop. He does that move, it's dancehall. I jump on my hands, it's hip hop. He jumps on his hands, that's dancehall. I slide to the left, I slide to the right, that's hip hop. He takes my move, that's dancehall. I'm just like yo, like, you know, next minute, you know, Fabian gets Bingi on the phone. And when he gets Bingi on the phone like, puts it on speaker. And, you know, it's like, yo, not for nothing, I think that Bingi's, my strategy of battling is this. Namaste. Bingi's strategy of battling is like, yo man, he really comes at you like a Rottweiler. You know, it's like, yo, I'll come at you as a, yo man, I'll come at you like a Rottweiler in the battle. But the talking leading up to the battle, yo man, I can be calm. Yo, like my man was just like, what? Bussout can't see me. Bussout can't. Just like going in, and he just like cursing up a storm or like whatever, like. And I'm calm, and I'm just like this, yo, Bingi, I beat you before, man. I hate to burst your bubble, man, but that battle that we had at the YMCA, yeah, let's just say that you walked away with 50, but I walked away with 100 because Derek later on gave me the extra 50, but he just didn't want to accept, you know, like, I'm upset you, you know, blah, blah. He like, Bingi's like, what? Yo, so next minute, you know, like, yo, like, yo, my boy was just like this. Yo, man, if you know what, let's squash this here, man, Barbershop.
That Barbershop became the hot spot for a little while, boy.
Yo, like, and Bingi was just like this. Alright, bet. So Bingi came, right, you know, right, like, it's like, you know, he's coming at me like a Rottweiler again, you know, like, I'm stuttering up a storm, whatever, you know, like, I just want to get to the dancing, you know, dancing starts, whatever. You know, and it's like, put it this way, yo. It's like, in some cases, I feel that because of the fact that I'm well spoken and because of the fact that I'm easygoing, a lot of people, they like to push my buttons and they like to, you know, like they like to take like jabs at me or, you know, like, or sometimes they downplay what I'm doing. Okay. Right? You know, right. So after the battle ended, pretty much, you know, like, it's like, you know, because the battle ended, it happened and ended before the entourage came because I'm like Reggie and all of them came like after the battle ended. Okay. Right. So.
And what was the conclusion on that battle? Who was the victor in that?
All right. So the battle ended, right, and the two judges are literally like my boy Fabian and my boy Clay. And both of them, and it's like, yo, Fabian gives it to like Bingi, and then Clay does a whole speech. As much as I respect him, Clay does a whole speech, and Clay was just like this. You see, the both of you are kings. Blah 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 blah. But you see, I think that you're like a hip hop king, Dameion, and Bingi's a dancehall king. Yo, and yo, like in my mind, I was just like this. I would have bum buckle, yo, you know, right? So it's like, yo, for the culture. By the time, you know, like Reggie and all of them came, for the culture, you know, like they're saying, oh, let's get a picture of the two kings, and we're just like this, you know, whatever. Yo, like, but seriously, it's like my heart was beating fast, and I wasn't letting that go, right? Like, you know, like I bust another solo, you know, before the barbershop cleared out, but then the video went online.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
And when the video went online, I got the win. And then my boy Fabian will call me up on like maybe like a week later, and he'd be like this, like, yeah, oh yeah, because Fabian was the one who shared the video originally, right? Like Fabian was like this, yo, I guess the world feels different than me. You got the internet win. And I was just like this, like it's like I was just like so like over it, you know, like because this has been constant beefing, and there's a story that goes with it. Man, I was just like this, like, listen, man, I got the internet win. He got the vote from the both of you. I said, like, you know what? I'm done. I gotta, you know, like, I gotta free myself from this anger.
Yeah.
A year, like then.
So how would you overcome that now?
Okay, so
overcome the anger that was built up in you because of the intensity of this rivalry. How would you go now to release and find your peace again?
All right, so how I released that anger was, remember the Flex in Brooklyn reunion party at that place in Utica.
I'm trying to figure.
They had a party there, like I believe that they called it the Flex in Brooklyn reunion party.
Mm.
So Bingi was up in there, Peanut was up in there, and it's like, yo, on the, like, you know, like, it's like on the initial video in the barbershop, Peanut was clowning me. You know, like, but like now at the Flex in Brooklyn reunion party, it's like, yo, like, it's like I'm dancing for the culture, man. I'm just like putting my heart out there. It's like I'm on this side, and like I'm on this side. No, like, it's like I'm on this side. Bingi's over here. Peanut is just like watching, like right at, not saying anything to me. But then when I stood up, you know, like I'm chilling. It's like he's basically bringing people up to me, and he's like this, like, yo, see him? Yo, man, that's Bussout, man. One of the greatest, man. One of the kings in Brooklyn, man. Him and Bingi, 2 kings in Brooklyn. Blah 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 blah. So like it's like I felt that his, you know, like his eyes were opening up.
Yeah.
Right. And then I remember, I remember walking over to Bingi, and I remember like giving him a pound and just be like this, like, yo, man, no matter what, man, I'll always rate you, man.
Mm-hmm.
For the culture. 2 weeks after that, I reached out to Bingi on Instagram, and I said, yo, man, let's come together, yo. You know what? Like, you got like a lot of young youths that are coming up. You got a lot of people that are missing so many details of the dance, and I think that it will be like an historical thing, something that basically will always be given life and a place in history if you and I come together and work on a project. I told him that I'll pay for the camera team and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He never responded to me.